COVID has made me feel really weird about life and the way that I perceive things. It feels as if I'm able to see all of the beautiful things in life, but not experience them, like I'm trapped in some sort of glass dome. And some of the things that I thought were the most beautiful seem so vacant now. Nobody around but myself. It isn't until I put on my headset, go online, talk to friends, play games, that I realized that the true beauty of things was not necessarily the beautiful sights themselves, but the energy and life that surrounded it.
This is my story of the COVID-19 pandemic. As an international student, I have to admit that life was very tough for me at the beginning when I first came to Canada. I have never lived alone in a foreign country for such a long time. I didn't have any local friends at that time. When I rented this apartment, it was empty, with only a few essential pieces of appliance, so I went to IKEA myself, bought back tons of furniture and tried to assemble them myself. As time goes on, the outbreak caused the university switch all the courses to online. I was left alone in this apartment for almost 6 years of self-isolation because the fear of the virus. This apartment seemed to be my last shelter. In those days, I hardly had any social activities. So I get up very late every day, and I usually wake up to the dazzling sunlight around 12 p.m. And that is the start of a normal boring day, because I don't have to go out. I rarely care about my appearance. I simply wash my face and brush my teeth. After that, I might choose to lie back into my bed and read some books. However, more time was wasted by me in front of the screen. I will choose all kind of game to kill time. Until 3 a.m., I might choose to order Uber Eats takeaway. This is not only completely changed my biological clock, but also made me develop a bad habit of overeating. Although there is a beautiful view outside the window, an invisible virus is taking people's lives. This creates a huge contrast between reality and psychology and caused me great psychological pressure at that time.
This pandemic has been kind of a nightmare, a fever dream. For the first time in my life, I felt like my mind isn't reliable, like it can't always be trusted. For the first time in my life, I've had to really grieve. Grieve for the experiences that I've lost, for the time that I've lost, for the people I've lost. It's all quite a lot. There are good days, sure, and someone out there has it worse than me, sure. But this has been the hardest time of my life. I've never struggled and suffered like I have this past year. If I'm lucky, I won't have another year like this ever again. I try to keep my head up, but when I do, all I see are these same four walls. I hope soon for some relief. I need it. I found solace in chaos. When things are different, when things are unexpected, it shakes things up a bit. It's like a breath of fresh air. Pandemic dreams are chaotic. You never know what you're going to get. I consider this a bright spot of this monumentally shitty year. There's not much else to look back upon in enjoyment. Everything has been the same for so long. Monotony has made the bad experiences worse. Connections I used to have are now a distant memory. And I'm not restless, I'm defeated. But I refuse this condition. My hopefulness for the future has stayed with me. I just hope the future will be kinder. When these restrictions lift, and we can all finally breathe new air, see new sights, see old sights, I'm gonna paint the town red.
In Camus' The Plague, he stated that people would have a sense of exile and imprisonment during pandemic. Is that real? Because of COVID-19, I've been staying at home for a year, and this is a space where I spend most of the time chatting with my friend over the phone, taking online courses, and reading books. After I complete the day's tasks, I would go to bed at 11 and wake up at 8. The next day, I would do completely the same thing. It seems like I've already got used to the situation, and I'm not that passive anymore. I felt more at peace than I had ever felt before. You see, I can hear the sound of wind. I can hear the birds. I watch sunset, sunrise. I witnessed the trees turn from green to yellowish. I felt I'm a man walking on a mobile street because every day is repeated. Today is just a normal day, no different from any other days.
When the pandemic started last year, I didn't think it would last too long. Unfortunately, I was completely wrong. Here's my room, prison cell, whatever you want to call it. This is what I've called my home for the past year. I feel as though there is no escape from the cycle. Over time, the stress of staying locked up in your home gets to you. Some people fall on hobbies, others fall on less than healthy activities. I sit at my computer desk all day and all night playing games and talking to my friends. Time seems to have no meaning anymore. The walls seem as though they are caving in. I barely clean this room anymore. I would like to think that with the vaccines being distributed, it would be over soon. But here we are again in lockdown with no end in sight.